Happy Easter, everybody. Hope you're doing well. So, if you're wondering if I was going to do something about the new Star Wars teaser trailer for The Last Jedi, all I have to say is, good teaser, didn't give away too much. Go back to my other video about trailers to know why I'm giving it that much compliment, but really not much to say as far as I'm concerned. And just like my last video, I said I was going to watch the new Kong Skull Island movie, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. This is my review of Kong Skull Island. I'm going to tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, what I could see in the future. And there will be some spoilers, but I'm not going to ruin the movie for you. I'm not a movie trailer. Again, go back to my last video about that. But let's do this. I'm going to start with what I liked. And first of all, I liked the look of Kong in this movie. He looked badass. And it was a nice blend of ape and human in a sense, because when he would stand up, and especially with the way the sun was hitting him, looked great, by the way. It's in the trailers, but it's even better in the theater. When he would stand up looking really menacing, he didn't stand up like an ape. He didn't look like a gorilla. He looked very human-like. And that was badass. And that's another thing about Kong. He is definitely badass in this movie. And one of the things that makes him so badass is the first big encounter we have with him. He's just kicking ass and taking names. And what I thought was interesting is they showed that, yeah, this King Kong's really, really tough and strong, but he does have some ingenuity too. He's kind of smart. And you see that in some of his battles and some of his fights. He's not just a dumb ape who's just going by, sheer instinct. He can think and basically come up with ideas and using tools and things like that. And his final battle and his first battle really show that. Another thing I liked about the movie is that they give us Kong. This is one thing I didn't like in the Godzilla movie from 2014, is that they teased and teased and teased and teased the Godzilla's present for an hour. And then when he finally shows up, looks like we're going to get a fight, and then nope. Nope. You think there's going to be some more destruction, and nope. Nope. It's just teasing us. By the time they finally give us the goods, it's like, yeah, you teased me for too long, now I don't care. But this one, they definitely hit it right. First, they give us a sneak peek at Kong, and then they give us the goods within a half hour of the movie, I believe. And that's where it needed to be. This movie is only about 2 hours long, and I think 2 hours is just the right amount of time for a movie like this. And it hits all the points you kind of need for this movie, except for maybe one or two, but I'll get into that later. And a lot of the characters are kind of interesting. You have your photojournalist, you have your tracker, you have the military, and they all play their part well, although there are definitely people that are on this expedition that just scream, "Cannon fodder!" You just know they're going to die. There's going to be a lot of death in this movie. And this is a movie that shows that you don't need to be over the top with the gore and the violence to make it brutal and effective. It's just how you present it that makes it good. And that's what one thing I liked about the movie. It was brutal and violent, and it kind of at times left it to your imagination what's going to happen. And sometimes I like that. That's cool to me. Also, the fight scenes. One thing I hate in a lot of modern movies is they do a lot of shaky cameras. Shake. You're going to give me a headache. Oh, I think I'm going to puke. But this is one thing I talked about in Batman v Superman, is that they lock the camera down for the most part. There's a little bit of movement, but during the fight sequences, except for the points that are POV, from the human's perspective, it's all just held down. You see the action going down. And that's what I want to see. I want to see a damn good fight. And that's what I got in this, with some damn good action. And I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, and I think it's definitely better than the 2014 Godzilla movie that came out from the same studio, Legendary Pictures. And this is a movie I think they learned from their mistakes from the Godzilla movie. They gave us Kong, but they also let his presence be felt in the rest of the movie. Once he finally shows up in his big reveal, the rest of the movie, you feel his presence throughout. You don't know when he's going to show up. You know he's there, but you don't know when he's going to finally poke his head out. And I like that. I like when a movie, especially a monster movie, the presence of the monster is felt throughout the movie. And even at times where it's not Kong, there's some good action sequences here. And the military personnel, you feel kind of their struggles. What I didn't like about the movie was they do some good stuff with setting up the characters, and thankfully they don't spend a lot of time like Peter Jackson's King Kong movie in 2005. You know, people like that movie. The one common complaint is they spend way too much time on the boat trying to build up the characters, build them up. This one, they kind of do a montage, and it's done pretty well, but kind of want to see a little bit more just to build these people up. And also, this is set during Vietnam, and there's a war photographer, and she and the Samuel Jackson character, who's a military guy, they kind of clash, but I kind of want to see them clash more, and so it builds up to have a kind of a big blow up in maybe the 2/3 end of the second act of the movie. You could have had the blow up between the two of them, and then the last act, then you can have something else. You have the real meat of the movie. It tells the story well, but at times there are points of the story that you think, I kind of want to see more of that. I want to see what happened with that. I kind of want to see more of that. And I think maybe a director's cut or an extended cut, maybe adding 10 minutes. I don't want to... 2 hours is a good time for this movie, but I think it's probably a good thing that I kind of want more, but not too much. I think maybe 5 to 10 minutes added probably would have had enough character development and a little bit more storytelling to make us care even more for the people in this movie. I don't know. I kind of would have wanted that, but without that, you have kind of almost a Captain Ahab kind of a vibe with a couple of the characters there, and without that more of a character development, when they do go full Call Me Ishmael and Captain Ahab, it doesn't have the same gravitas as it would have. You had maybe 5 to 10 minutes more, or you could have cut a little bit of somebody else's, but you don't know. I wouldn't know where to cut, to be honest. Other people's character development, because there's some character development here that's done very well, and some that's not done too well. Where the only way to do it is to add 5 to 10 minutes. But there are a couple of parts that are like shaky camera, but only in the POV spots. In that sense, it kind of makes sense. But there's one scene where it seems like, oh god, I'm gonna get a headache. Watch this. I'm gonna get a headache. But thankfully that scene doesn't last long. But if you get motion sick, I think there's 1, maybe 2 scenes in the movie where it's done POV where you might get a headache. But nothing too serious. Now, what do I think going forward from this? Now, from what I've heard, press releases and things like that from Legendary Pictures, they want to do a big cinematic universe, kind of like Marvel has done. They've made that popular now. And so this is to build up to the big blow up with King Kong versus Godzilla. And I think if you're a big fan of the old 1933 King Kong movie or even the Peter Jackson movie from '05, you're not going to like this one as much. I'm going to be perfectly honest. You're probably not going to like this one as much. But if you're looking for a good giant monster movie, this is good. It's a little bit different from the previous King Kong movies, and they don't call him King Kong. He's just Kong, and you find out why in the movie and in the after credit scene. Yes, there's an after credit scene. Stick around for it. There's actually two. There's one at the beginning of the credits, which is very well done, I gotta say. And then there's one after the credits, which helped set up where we're gonna go with this cinematic universe of these giant monsters. So the only other thing is that because this movie is set in the 70s, you kind of wonder how they're gonna bring King Kong and Godzilla together. I'm curious what they're gonna do with it, and hopefully when that does happen, it does make some sense, and they don't spend too long trying to build up, and teasing us with what we want to see, and give us the stuff, give us the goods. Maybe in the end of the first act, give us a tease, just to have a little bit of a fight between the two of them, maybe 5 minutes, and then at the end, in the last act, just have them beat the crap out of each other. I would like to see that. I mean, I'm not a giant fan of King Kong or Godzilla. I just want to see destruction from these two. That's all I want in this type of movie, and I got it for this one. And there was a good story. All in all, I think if you're a giant fan of King Kong, especially the original and the 2005 version, you're not gonna like it as much. So I'd probably say you'd want to maybe Redbox it or Netflix it every so often. And you'll probably come back to it once in a while and say, hey, yeah, this one's not bad, not as good as the other one, but it's okay. But if you want to see a different take on King Kong, and you enjoyed the 2014 Godzilla movie, I think you should buy this one on Blu-ray, because I think it's actually better than the 2014 Godzilla movie. But I want to know what you think. What did you think of Kong Skull Island? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you buy it on Blu-ray, since it's probably already out in Blu-ray in America? In Japan, we don't get it until like 3 months later. My next couple of videos are going to be not wrestling related, and they're not going to be movie related. They're going to be something a little bit different. So look forward to those if you enjoy watching these videos. So until then, once again, happy Easter. Take care.